A pleasant good afternoon from Louisville, where we bring you a first ever USL Championship clash It is Lou City, the standard bearers of the division, against the new kids on the block in Sporting JAX, and today's match is presented by Kroger. We say hello and welcome alongside the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. I'm Sam Goldfarb. It's a Lou City side that has been the juggernaut of the Eastern Conference since debuting in 2015, back-to-back league titles in 2017 and 2018, and since then atop the division ever since. They take on a side in Sporting JAX that is a project 3.5 years in the making, announced in August of 2022, and then in March of this year finally debuting. But Gary, it is a side still hunting its first victory.
Struggling to score goals, just 5 in 6 matches. That one there from Sadia, it's one of the few they've had. But conceding is their big problem. 13 goals conceded, 3 against Hartford there. Carriaga sticking one in the back of the net. 3 against Pittsburgh. Mind you, difficult to save that one from Sam Bassett. They need to be tighter in defense.
In attack, they're also struggling, but Emil Jaskalainen is a player that could change that.
He's a big, tall target man, but he needs service. Just the 1 goal so far. If they can get balls whipped in from left and right, then he certainly will find more of the back of the net.
On the other end of things for Lou City, back at home in league play where they suffered a historic defeat a couple weeks ago.
At the end of their 26-game unbeaten home run, that one a volley from Casado. They just stopped there because they thought the ball had gone out of play. Instead of playing to the whistle, then Palmov gets another goal and 2-0 down they go. But they had chances to score, Lou City. They should have got something from that match. In the end, they went down to Charleston Battery.
Gives us a chance to take a look at today's player profile presented by Commonwealth Credit Union. Tola Shawunmi is in scorching form for Lou City. 3
goals in the last 4, 5 all comps this season. More important, he's keeping Chris Donovan out of the starting lineup, and Chris Donovan's a really good striker. So Tola really doing well. He's strong, he's physical, he's settling back in at home at Lynn Family Stadium, and we expect to see many more goals from this man.
We'll see what he can bring for them up front tonight. Just about ready to get everything underway in the Derby City. A Lou City squad looking to get back to winning ways in league play. Sporting JAX hunting that historic first win. Stick with us, lineups and kickoff when we return.
It's time. It's time to plan a family get-together between your family and the Corolla family. Toyota Corolla has set the standard for dependability and value for generations. That's why it's often passed down between generations. In fact, it's the most dependable in its class, built right here in the USA. And so is the versatile new Corolla Cross with plenty of cargo space. Now get 4.99 APR financing on a new Corolla, or a $209 a month lease, or lease this Corolla Cross for $259 a month. America drives Toyota. Let's go places.
Commonwealth Credit Union is proud to be the exclusive volunteer partner for the 2026 USL Championship, but we need your help. If you have a passion for golf and want an up-close experience on the PGA Tour, register to become a volunteer today. Volunteers will receive tournament merch, complimentary food and non-alcoholic beverages while they're working, and full access to the tournament even when you're not. To register for the 2026 USL Championship volunteer program, visit our website for more information. Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
Join me for WDRB night at Lynn Family Stadium to watch Louisville City FC take the field April 25th. Bring your friends and family to the pregame meet and greet. Say hi to Snow Fox and the WDRB team. Plus, we're giving you a chance to win family tickets to the game. Just scan the code to enter. Hope to see you there.
Staying on top of the big stories is a really important part of my job, and the WDRB News app makes that really easy to do no matter where I am. I can be at the grocery store, the doctor's office, or anywhere out and about. I can watch live and stay on top of the day's news. It's like taking WDRB with me everywhere I go.
Severe weather calls for preparation.
We've got you covered, Seymour.
Charge your devices. Head to your safe space. Don't lose your connection to the WDRB weather team.
Now in North Vernon, 24 minutes from now, we'll be watching our...
Stream us live on the WDRB Plus app and start with WDRB weather.
We welcome you back to Lynn Family Stadium, where we are just about set for kickoff in this first ever USL Championship clash between Lou City and Sporting JAX. And now our time to check on our starting lineups, which are presented by Ford Building Together.
One change for the team that knocked Austin FC from the MLS out of the Cup in midweek. Carlos Miguel comes in at the back for Sean Toach, who has a cautionary injury. In a 3-4-3 shape, of course, Tolo Shuamni, we mentioned him already. He needs service from Ray Serrano on the left, and Evan Davila, who gets his third start on the right-hand side.
That's how Simon Bird's 11 looks. On the other side of things for Liam Fox, a pair of changes from the defeat against Detroit last week.
Edgardo Rito comes in, and he actually goes into attack. And also Dida Armstrong on the left-hand side. So two changes there. Traore is out, and Kieran Sadley, the top goal scorer, on the bench in that 4-3-3 shape. But as mentioned, the wide players again, Armstrong and Rito, got to get service into the big man, Jaskalainen.
Just about ready to get everything underway, and the supporters out in full force at Lynn Family Stadium, one of the premier venues in all of USL Championship football. And despite a rainy night, everyone is ready to get things going. Well, can Liam Fox guide his side over the line and take a first ever victory away from home? Kickoff is delayed. Welcome back to Lynn Family Stadium, where this clash between Lou City and Sporting JAX takes center stage in match week 7 of the USL Championship, alongside the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action. And Gary, for Lou City, it is a rare rut in league play. It's the first time they haven't won back-to-back league matches since May of 2025. So even despite the cup set victory over Austin on Tuesday, there is a sense of urgency going into this one.
Absolutely. They want to get back on the winning trail. The draw away at Loudon wasn't a bad result at the end of the day, because Loudon United were very good on the night. 3-3. The loss at home to Charleston. It's the first loss in 27 home games. So, yeah, it's just a rare blip, but it really is just a blip and nothing more, I would reckon. Unless, of course, there's a surprise result here.
Here's an in-swinger from Roberts. Runs all the way to the back post. Now falls to the edge of the area for Tyshawn Rose, who's played as an out-and-out fullback and wingback all season. And that sails comfortably to Hugo Farou, who is one of the top shot stoppers in all of USL Championship.
Well, you mentioned that Austin FC win. We've got to talk about that, because what a fantastic night it was earlier in the week. A 2-1 victory. Great evening here at Lynn Family Stadium, and they're through to the next round to take on Houston Dynamo. Sean Tosh is not available today with that slight injury. Got the first goal at the near post corner. What a great start to the match it was, as the keeper comes out and deals with that.
It was a strong performance. Simon Bird mentioned how proud he was of his bunch, and how it's just about carrying that over into league play in a fixture that, on paper, they should win. As you got your first look at Christian Olivares, the former standout in MLS Next Pro with St. Louis City 2.
It's a big job for the goalkeeper, Christian Olivares, in a team where you've only got 1 point from a possible 18. It's been a rough start to the year. Probably expected it to be tough, but it's the points that they need to get. And when you're struggling for points, your goalkeeper becomes absolutely crucial, as he was against Detroit City. Thought he played really well.
Early cross in from Perez, and Olivares collects comfortably. Well, fans, Commonwealth Credit Union, to learn more about how we can help you meet your financial goals, visit WeSeeYouDifferently.com. 3 minutes gone as Lou City and Sporting JAX lock horns for the first time in USL Championship play. Here's Gomez. Looks long down the line and out of play.
Yeah, big test for Sporting JAX today, as we were saying. Struggled this season, but you're coming up against back-to-back Players' Shield winners the last 2 seasons. It's a juggernaut of a side, Lou City, and yes, they've lost Danny Cruz, but Simon Bird, the interim, has just picked it up and continues, and they'll be successful under him as well, you would think, and they've shown it again with that victory against Austin. So this will give Liam Fox a good idea of how strong Sporting JAX are.
Shawunmi sneaking in behind, forced wide by the center back Edwards. We spoke to Simon Bird about that adjustment, and he said to us that honestly it hasn't been as difficult as many on the outside would have expected. Danny Cruz trusted him to play a big role in preparation for matches across the board the last 3-4 seasons on staff, and it's been about as seamless as a transition as it possibly could be. As there's an early free kick conceded. You get your first look at Simon Bird. It's a strong record in all comps, just the one defeat a couple weeks ago at home, but otherwise has continued this run of consistency Lou City has perpetuated throughout its existence in this division. Early free kick for Louisville City. And it is a free kick brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. Davila, player of the year in USL Championship a season ago. Out wide for Manny Perez. Cuts inside on his right, weaving through traffic. Can't quite swirl it through the thicket of white kits, but clear only as far as Taylor Davila. Morris arcing in. Olivares does enough to keep it out.
Early pressure here from the boys in purple, which makes you think that's probably how most of the match will go, unless Sporting JAX can surprise us here. But you expect Lou City to be attacking down the flanks. They've got so much quality. We saw that there with Manny Perez down the one side, got Jake Morris down the other. They'll whip balls in, they'll cause problems for Sporting JAX, who have managed to get their defense tighter. Just 1 goal conceded in each of the last 2 games, so it's a lot better. But again, Christian Olivares having to make a couple of crucial saves in those games, so still not defensively where they want to be, but they need to also score goals, and that's been their big challenge this season for Sporting JAX.
A team that scored just 5 goals in league play to date. We already showed you off the top the most goals conceded in the league, and think back to that Detroit City defeat, conceding early but unable to establish a clear foothold in the match after that. Outpossessed by a 62-37 margin and outshot comfortably as well. Didn't manage a single shot on target in that Detroit City defeat. And now things only get more difficult. You head away from home into one of the fortresses of USL Championship against a side that is desperate to put the frustration of a few weeks back on the back burner. This is Jaskalainen. Looks to lay this off, and an overzealous challenge in the end from Sumaru. Well, fans, soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of Lou City. Get all of your Lou City tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats.
And just to your point about Sporting JAX, you mentioned 0 shots on target against Detroit City, 1 shot on target in the home loss to Tampa Bay Rowdies. Those numbers are not good, and Liam Fox is a very, very accomplished coach, will know all of that. It's changing it that's the challenge for him and for the players, because if they're not going to create opportunities, if they're not going to get in touches in the opposition box, and they've got less than half of their opposition last 2 matches, then the chances are they're not going to score many goals.
Perhaps something on here for Lou City. An overlapping run across that takes an awkward deflection. Falls kindly though for Roberts. Bashes it away towards Jaskalainen. To your point, Gary, this Sporting JAX side has also been dealt a pretty difficult hand in terms of fixtures. Get on that in a minute as they stroll forward through Dita Armstrong, and that just knuckles wide.
Did so well there, Dita Armstrong, to win the ball and to go on a run, but he tried to curl it and just didn't get the curl at the end there. The right foot, he was trying to bend it in, but he makes a good run here, makes up the mind of the the pass of the ball, and there he tries to bend it around Hugo Faru and just doesn't quite get that bend right.
Rare semblance of space, though, on the break there for Sporting Jags.
Yeah, he did well there, and they got some good space. I just wonder if they'll start targeting Carlos Miguel at the back, because without Sean Tosh, that Brandon Days, Kyle Adams, Sean Tosh combination is very assured. They've played together a lot. Carlos Miguel actually came in a few matches back. Lexington in the Cup, they played him at centre back and said he's on the ball there. The reason why we want to play him is because he can play out the back. He's a very good passer of the ball. But you just wonder if defensively, maybe that's where Sporting Jax will just prod and test.
Look over the top now, and there are numbers in behind for Lou City. It's crossed to Evan Davila. The effort deflected. The follow-up forces a strong save out of Olivares. And ultimately, the whistle goes.
Good shot there from Daviles, Evan Daviles, third start in a row. He hasn't really been a major feature for the boys in purple, and all of a sudden getting a regular start, gets the shot, forces a decent save out of Christian Olivares. Ray Serrano doing well here, stops the ball, head up, finds Evan Davila there, and that second shot on target, going in the corner. Decent save again from an informed goalkeeper in Olivares.
It's start number 7 to open his season, Christian Olivares, joining from St. Louis City after spending the bulk of his early career in the next pro ranks. Simon Birdside on the front foot, unsurprisingly so. He said to us that going into this match, he figured Sporting Jax would sit deep and it would be on his wing backs to provide the width and cutting edge necessary to pick apart this back line. Seen signs of that game plan already in effect so far. Just back on Sporting Jax's fixture list, it's easy to look at the record and say, okay, 1 point from your first 6, that's pretty brutal. But keep in mind, through their first 8 league matches, 7 of those Eastern Conference opponents all played in the postseason a year ago. And it's not just teams making up the numbers in the postseason. It's Lou City, it's Charleston, it's Rhode Island, it's Pittsburgh and Detroit, all on their schedule within the first 2 months, many of which is away from home as well.
Yeah, it has been very tough. And maybe in some senses, Liam Fox will be happy with that. Not, okay, let's rephrase that. He's not going to be happy with those results. But he understands that, you know what, it just it forces his players to have a look at it and go, okay, we're up against it. If we are going to do something this season, we need to work really hard. We need to match teams, etc. So let's put it this way, it's a rude awakening, but it's not always the end of the world as long as they can recover and get themselves going. And creating and scoring goals seems to be the issue that is plaguing Sporting Jax at the moment.
Here's Duncan, the Australian standout in midfield, who cleverly untangles himself and continues forward. Tried to pick out the far corner and may have taken a slight touch off Olivares, and that it did.
Did well there, Zach Duncan. 4 matches into last year, he got a terrible injury, was out for the entire year, and he's back and desperate to do well. And the management, Danny Cruz before he left, and Simon Bird, everyone there just super keen to see him do well after his horrendous injury-plagued year last year.
Already pressing the issue in the center of the park. And it is a corner kick for Lou City, a Wi-Fi corner kick, that is. Taken within swing. It was shaping up to go towards Shawunmi, and now it does reach him. Biting tackle does the job from Rossiter, and just a throw. Well, there is the new addition to the back line. A lot of chopping and changing at center back for Lou City. Keep in mind, a pair of first-teamers still out. Josh Jones has been absent for the bulk of the last month, and Aiden McFadden is hardly featured either. As this cross from Perez comes into the mixer. Serrano on the turn. Dita Armstrong looking for an out route, and there is none. Morris.
Good skills there from Jack Morris. Lovely little backheel flick into space. I love it.
Speaking of another player they're thrilled to see healthy.
So much talent on this Lou City side. Have a look at this there. It goes one way, flicked it. A little bit of magic.
Davila. Mokel. More space for Perez and options to pick out. Not quite on the same wavelength as Serrano. Ultimately, the chance lost. Well, fans, the USL and the CBS Sports Network wraps up the month of April with a Prinks Tires USL Cup Group 5 matchup. Northeastern rivals Hartford Athletic and Rhode Island FC battle it out at 7 p.m. Eastern on April 25th. Catch all of the action on the CBS Sports Network. I tell you what, Gary, it feels like we've already had multiple El Clamicos and plenty more to come.
There's a little chance there for Jake Morris a moment ago where if his first touch was a bit better, he would have been in. This is there, that touch there just knocks it too far ahead of himself. If he keeps it a little bit tighter, he could have had a shot on the edge of the box, and he just follows through a little bit at the end.
Still a player down. And now they're back to their feet.
It's Jaskalainen doing well. As we said, as a number 9, he's a big boy. He'll take the knocks, he'll win the free kicks, and those free kicks so vital for a team like Sporting JAX. You just need to take the pressure off and get on that front foot, get into that final third of Lucidity, and hopefully for them get across into the box.
Emil Jaskalainen would be one of the players waiting on an island so far, surprisingly so, just considering how dominant Lucidity has been, although they've conceded a free kick to Thomas Roberts and company here.
Carlos Mogul just settling into that joint centre-back role by getting stuck in there.
Set pieces has been a major point of emphasis for Simon Bird. He went out of his way to mention that on the phone with us this week.
Well, they scored that last one. You mentioned Sean Tosh against Austin. Week before it was Brandon Days against Loudoun United. So they've certainly scored from them. Here they have to be careful not to concede from them.
Harvey Neville stands over this. Dips towards the back stick. Headed away. Evan Davila can't find support though. Another cross in. Jaskalainen. Rose. This is Neville again. Rose again. Cross that deflects toward Roberts and finally cleared. Some signs of early pressure though from the visitors.
It hasn't resulted in anything being whipped into the box other than that free kick. And that was one of the issues in previous matches. Just not many touches in the opposition box. You know, lots of hard work around it. Give them credit for that. But if you're going to win games, you've got to get balls in the box. You've got to get players in the box to cause problems.
Got your look at Liam Fox moments ago. Someone who has experience, as you've mentioned, in Scottish football, was a caretaker manager multiple times during the 24-25 season with Hearts. Someone who, of course, played 15 seasons himself in Scottish football. So the pedigree is there. It's just about translating that to the USL ranks and getting that first victory in the bank. Someone who was appointed in November, and it's always tough, especially in USL Championship with so many well-defined squads with clear-cut nuclei, to be able to build a roster that can compete immediately from scratch.
That's very, very difficult indeed. In fact, there's very few teams, expansion teams, that have actually gone on to do well. We were just checking out beforehand. The most obvious one in recent times, Rhode Island, 2004, as an expansion team, went to the championship final. But, you know, as years have gone by, I think you have to go all the way back to 2019 to get Austin Bold and Birmingham Legion, both in that year, making the playoffs as expansion teams. So clearly, given there's been a lot of expansion teams, there have been very few who've gone on to make playoffs. So it's a huge ask for Sporting JAX. More likely that they will try and build, and they've got a fantastic sporting director in Mark Warburton, who was with West Ham United, Mark Warburton, and Nottingham Forest and Brentford. So a lot of good quality people there that the ownership of Sporting JAX have brought in. So congrats to them. But yes, to your point, it will take a while for it all to get a bit of fluidity and a bit of momentum.
And that Rhode Island team you mentioned 2 years ago did stumble out of the blocks themselves. It took them a couple months to string wins together.
Yes, yes, I remember they got a few draws, they had a whole bunch of draws, but no wins, and then all of a sudden they got going. But even then, I think they only made it in 5th place in the playoffs. It wasn't like they were flying high at the top. They just sort of dragged themselves into the playoffs with a good second half of the season.
Here's Serrano, always dynamic on the left flank. He picks out Morris, who wins another corner for Lou City. It's Thunder over Louisville this weekend, and tonight celebrating that as you see the flyover. It's always a tremendous atmosphere at Lynn Family Stadium. And another Wi-Fi corner kick for Lou City. Flicked towards the near post by Morris. And it ultimately goes out of play. Well, 20 minutes gone, Gary, and no doubt Louisville's been on the front foot, but they've lacked that cutting edge and haven't quite carved out a glaring chance to trouble Christian Olivares.
No, I think you're 100% right. They're just the one little save there from Christian Olivares from Evan Davila. Otherwise, it's been fairly straightforward, but a long way to go. And the thing about Lou City is they will keep coming. They've got so many talented players. And the other thing is this, their bench is absolutely stacked. So if these players don't get the breakthrough, they can bring on Chris Donovan, they can bring on Muka Kale, Jensen Wilson, Quincy Human, Babacar Niang. I mean, you would think those would all be starters for Sporting JAX.
Here's something on for Sporting JAX. It was cut out at the source rather quickly through Edgardo Rito. But to your point, a wealth of reserves on the bench, even without some of the key talents defensively being available tonight. This is a squad with so many options they can bring on as reserves. And we were speaking to Simon Bird this week, and he mentioned the duo they have in Tola Shawunmi and Chris Donovan. He said it's got to be a nightmare for opposing defenses because we can take one off at the hour mark, and you bring on a proven finisher with fresh legs for the final 30 minutes.
Absolutely, both of them super talented. And Sporting JAX will be aware of that.
Serrano cuts it across. Shawunmi has a pop and draws a strong save out of Christian Olivares.
That's a decent effort. And the way he's holding his hands, I think he thought that was going in. Decent save as well from Olivares. Have a look at it again. He hits it, picks his spot in the corner, it's going. And immediately grabbed his head because he must have thought he found the perfect spot. There you go. As you can see the frustration from Shawunmi.
Shawunmi continues to get himself in dangerous spots. It was nearly a 4th and 5 for him. They cut it across on the Wi-Fi corner kick. And now arced back in, headed, and just wide. Half the fans thought that nestled in. Instead, it ripples the side netting from Mogel.
Mogel doing well there. Bearing in mind, again, he's more of a midfielder than a centre-back, but gets in here at the far post. Ball in. He's actually well unmarked. Could he have headed it back the way it came? He's gone for the near post. I'm trying to think, why not go back to the far post? You can get more power behind it, and if you mishead it, it becomes a pass. Instead, he tries to sneak it in the near post, but good opportunity, probably the best opportunity so far for the boys in purple.
Well, fans, this portion of today's match is presented by Toyota and the Kentuckiana Toyota dealers. Midway through the first half, no score between Lou City and Sporting JAX. Sam Goldfarb, the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey, alongside me. It's been a strong start for Lou City and starting to twist the screws as well. It's a Lou City squad that is looking to get back to winning ways in league play after managing just 1 point from their last 2 matches. A rare outcome that. Davila flashes it across the face. Shawunmi chasing after it. And ultimately committing the foul as he looked to win it back.
Wow, Ray Serrano had a great chance here. Evan Davila doing so well to pull this back. But there, Perhaps the defender was putting a bit of pressure on. No, he doesn't. He's just totally missed that Ray Serrano. It's a good view from that camera. Totally missed a great chance. And Ray Serrano, end of last season and most of last season, was scoring goals and looking really sharp. This year hasn't quite got back to where he was. And given all the other talent, attacking talent on the bench, he needs to take those chances if he's going to stay in the starting 11.
7 goals a season ago. That follows a 2024 campaign in which he was finalist for Young Player of the Year in USL Championship. But to your point, this year just 1 goal in the first 5, and that goal came very early in the season against Miami FC. It's been about a month without striking pay dirt. That was a golden chance to end the mini drought.
Yeah, it's with the likes of Muka Kale on the bench, brought in especially Quincy Herman. These are players who've been brought in to attack, especially from the width, so he's got them breathing down his neck, and hopefully for him he'll get another chance and he can tuck it away, but that'll go down as a miss.
Well, anytime you lose Philip Goodrum, and then you start to talk about the side that lost Philip Goodrum as one of the best attacking teams in the league, that raises eyebrows as Serrano has a hit and lashes at it well over.
And again, I'm not sure that was the right choice. I don't think he thinks it is now. Having missed one, I think he took the opportunity to try and score, but Evan Davila was free in the middle of the box. Yeah, Tolo Shawamne tackled very late there and complaining about it. It looks like the yellow card has come out for one of the Sporting JAX players, but for Ray Serrano there, I thought the square ball was a better option than trying to score from that tight angle.
It is a yellow card that's shown to Ryan Edwards, the captain for Sporting JAX. Well, fans, at Bellevue University, your success is the only thing that matters. That's why they offer education that's designed to help you achieve your next goal. Find out more at degrees.bellevue.edu/goals. It was Edwards who received the yellow for the late tackle on Serrano. That yellow card is presented by Alpha Energy Solutions.
It's interesting that it wasn't Serrano, because I saw Tolo Shawamne get absolutely clattered as well. That's what he was complaining about.
Tackles are flying in, aren't they?
Well, you know, if you're Sporting JAX, you've got to try and close down Lou City as much as you can, because you know they're going to keep coming at you from every angle.
Still a player down for Lou City here.
Zach Duncan, not much tackle there, not much impact rather. Just stretches, and then there's a clash of shins with Tyshawn Rose.
I think he'll have his hands full today. The question is how much he can truly get forward and influence the game.
I think that's exactly it. You know, you can defend against Lou City and maybe you keep a clean sheet. Chances are you'll concede 1 or 2, but you need to get down the other end, as Charleston Battery showed, and score goals. They did it brilliantly. Charleston Battery under Ben Pearman.
Well, fans, it's a free kick brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, and it's taken short. Morris just lost it out of play. Morris. And here's Tyshawn Rose. Maybe this is one of the moments where he can roam forward, although it's neutralized rather quickly. Well, if you are Sporting JAX in this scenario, how do you grab the match by the scruff of the neck and at least enjoy some semblance of the ball?
Very difficult. I mean, it's you're up against the top side in the USL over the last 2 seasons. They've got so much talent. They're doing what they can do, which is defend in numbers, bodies behind the ball, and just try and keep the clean sheet.
Here's Taylor Davila, who has a crack. Quality save there from Olivares, who has passed every test thrown his way to date.
It's a fantastic strike from Taylor Davila from that distance, 30 yards out. And hits it, and it's flying in that corner. Another good save from Christian Olivares. And they're going to, as we said in the beginning, they're going to need him if they're to get anything out of this match. If the keeper can just keep that clean sheet, and you never know if they can sneak one at the other end.
Last year's Player of the Year in USL Championship, a 3-time first-team selection. Another Wi-Fi corner kick. Toward the near post again. This time away rather confidently from Sporting JAX. Serrano. And here's Perez. Plenty of space to take here. Gets it back from Mogel. Crosses it at the byline. Runs all the way through again, and no one in purple to greet it. And then a late challenge from Zach Duncan.
Yeah, it was a free kick, no question about that. Zach Duncan trying to win the ball on the edge of the box, and it's worth coming in to try to win it, because if you do, there's a chance you can get a shot on target, but he's just a touch late. No complaints from Sporting JAX at all.
You've mentioned what a key presence he is in midfield for Lou City. Last year suffering that season-ending injury in the first month of the campaign, and just provides more depth alongside Taylor Davila in that midfield.
He does. He's more of the tough player, although he can shoot and he can pass really well, but I don't think anyone passes as well as Taylor Davila does. He's such a quality player. But the two of them, they manage that midfield, and that allows Manny Perez on the right and Jake Morris on the left to bomb forward. And that's why it's so hard when you play them, because you're dealing with their front three and the two wing backs pushing up.
And whenever you have such a proactive three-back system like that, it also opens up space in the channels for runners as well.
Well, if you're Sporting JAX, you can find space, absolutely. Far wide on the right and far wide on the left, but you've got to get the ball up there in a controlled fashion and manner, and they just haven't been able to do that so far. Sporting JAX. I think you can see Hugo Farou is pretty much a spectator here.
I'm curious as a goalkeeper if you preferred or despised matches like this.
You try not to have an opinion, because then you can favor one, and it just is what it is. If it's a quiet match, you shout at your defenders, you just keep yourself busy. You find every which way you can to be part of the match there, which he's doing. Look, he's following it. He's just ready in case a ball comes through and one of his defenders slips up, because he will need to make it, you would think, at least one save or two saves in this match. But I think most keepers would tell you they prefer to be busy, diving here, diving there, making saves. Only problem with that is generally you end up on the losing side if you're that busy.
To your point with Hugo Farou, he is someone who has excelled when tested in the past. Top 2 in the USL Championship in saves each of the last 2 seasons. This year, though, oddly enough, only 11 saves in 4 appearances. Did miss the early portion of the campaign recovering from last season's season-ending elbow surgery, but he's someone who's more used to the latter type of match where he's being peppered, and now he's adjusting to the scenario where maybe he's not being tested as much each game.
Yeah, he was a lot busier at Loudoun United, playing in that side. But again, to your point, goalkeepers have to get used to both being busy and both not being busy, and all the sort of grey area in between. It's part of your job. Difference with an outfield player is you're always busy. Even if you're a centre back, you're pushing up, you're marking defenders. Goalkeeper's probably the only position where you've got to actually concentrate to stay in the game.
Here's Duncan. He has been very busy over the course of these 30 minutes and change. Days out wide. Lou City Academy graduate. Perez and Chouanmi chasing. Just to throw for Los Morados. Perhaps a long throw in the cards. Quick turn from Evan Davila towards Serrano, who's looking for an angle. Olivares spills it and does just enough. It's the one miscue from Olivares we've seen all day.
It was a miscue, but he recovered really well. Evan Davila again getting in some good positions, causing trouble there. Serrano could have laid it back, but I think he just thought he might turn and get lucky with the shot. Goalkeeper spills it, but then grabs it at the first opportunity, fortunately for him.
Fans watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Final 10 minutes of this first half beckon. Still nothing to separate the two sides, but Lou City remains on the front foot. And here is Davila. Can't quite pick out the run of his brother, Evan. The Davila family, quite a talented group. Armstrong. Out wide this time. Gardo Rito, who's been a fixture of USL Championship for quite some time.
There was a time when he first came into the league, I think it was with Oakland Roots, and he used to bomb down that right-hand side. What an athlete he was, but moved around a bit, been to Hartford and one or two other clubs, and just hasn't really found that form that he showed when he first came to the States.
He was an all-league first-teamer with Oakland in 2022. And since then, the form has certainly dipped off. A mid-season move to Hartford the following year, and to your point, hasn't quite recaptured those heights. Jake Morris's cross, right at Olivares.
I don't know what Jake Morris was trying to do. Yeah, he's shaking his head. It had a lot of height on it, which makes it easy for the keeper. I think he saw a run, a couple of players running into the box, but in that case, whip it in low and not too low, but, you know, head height so that the keeper can't come and get it easily. And he's such a good player, Jake Morris. He's more than capable of whipping in a good cross.
When talking to Simon Bird about Jake Morris this week, he raved about his mentality to come back from a season that was limited very significantly by injury a year ago. And this year he's established himself as that wing back on the left flank and someone who continues to play at top level. The athleticism and technical ability is really what jumps out.
And he's got a goal against Rhode Island as well. So besides the crosses he puts in, he can finish.
Rare foray forward here for Sporting JAX. It is arced in by Antonio Gomez. And now it falls to Gomez. Looks for Dita Armstrong, and that's rather comfortable for Hugo Farou.
And again, no touches by Sporting JAX in the box. So the cross is an aimless one that goes nowhere. They forage and they work hard. They get around the edge of the box, and then nobody's getting a touch in the box or turning and getting a shot in, and that's something they have to improve on. The expected goals has been around 0.5, 0.6 for most of their games. I think it went above 1 in one of the games. But generally speaking, they have struggled to create much in attack, and that's something that they're going to have to fix over the course of the next few weeks. But again, easier said than done. As you said, there's so many quality sides in the USL. You find yourself defending just because Lou City are so good. You can't get the ball, and when you do, you can't get out of your own half. So it's not an easy solution to this problem for Liam Fox and for Sporting JAX.
And to your point as well, whenever you build a club from the ground up, relationship building between some of your players on the front line, that dictates how successful you'll be in the final third. And they've had just over a month to do that in actual competitive action, not counting preseason, of course. It's a side that has produced an XG of just 0.06 so far tonight. That in contrast, Lou City 0.72.
Sporting JAX have 0.6.
0.06.
I'm going to say, when you say, I'm thinking, where? 0.06, 100%. They just really haven't created anything. Yeah.
Decimal points are important. Samaru, Rossiter. And here is the captain, Edwards. 32 years old. He has anchored this side as Gomez plays it forward. Now dispossessed. Shawunmi. Evan Davila, who's made an impact so far, cuts inside, curls it goalward. It's off the head of what appears to be Ryan Edwards, and just a corner.
Again, Evan Davila really surprising me by how well he's playing. You always think of his brother as being the superstar, but does well here. It goes one way, comes back the other, and that header clear from the captain, Ryan Edwards, is just absolutely brilliant. I think that's going in the back of the net. Oh, it's going to force Olivares into a great save, but No wonder Evan Davila's got his third start. It's a lot more impressive than I thought, this man. And wow, what a family. And his brother being, as you said, the reigning player of the year, and now Evan showing some fantastic skills.
Scored 8 nights ago against Loudoun to level the scoreline and preserve a point, and now he takes this 5-5 corner kick. Arcs it to the back post this time. Days heads it goalward, but it was always off the mark. Maybe a season of breakout stars for Lou City, because we've spoken about the turnover at center back with McFadden, with Jones being out, and so it all opens the door for someone like Brendan Days to step in, and then as well in the front line, a revolving door of personnel that Simon Bird is trying to piece together, given all the talent in the squad, and Evan Davila has separated himself these last couple weeks.
It happens every season, doesn't it? You get players come through, some you don't expect, some you've seen their talent all along. And certainly Brandon Days at 17 is going places. And certainly Danny Cruz, Simon Bird have backed that up. But if you had to think of players who in 5 years' time will be at least at MLS level, if not even in Europe, I would think Brandon Days is certainly one of those to keep an eye on.
Someone who debuted in the Eintracht Frankfurt friendly in 2024 has been a budding member of the first team ever since. One of the first members of the Lou City Academy to sign a full-time pro contract with the first team. Here's Morris, looking to split the defenders. Taylor Davila clips it, and not quite on the same wavelength as Manny Perez there.
Yeah, a bit of frustration for the boys in purple. Normally at home at Lynn Family Stadium, they dominate like they are today, but they get results, they get goals, things happen. You can see here a little bit of frustration. Taylor Davila just isn't quite, that final pass isn't quite gelling. Ray Serrano had that one chance that he fluffed. There's been a couple of good saves from Olivares, so well done Sporting JAX so far in terms of defense.
It is a side that has been prolific to open this campaign as well. 14 goals, that's second in the division, and that follows, of course, the season last year where they were the dynamic attacking outfit, a squad that won their second straight Players' Shield title and did so while losing just one match the entire regular season. And of course, maybe the playoffs a sore subject for Lou City the last couple of years. Fell in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals in somewhat shocking fashion to Detroit City in a match somewhat like this one. They were dominant the entire way, but caught out once and paid the price. Manny Perez has that one knocked away.
And that's one of the reasons they brought in players like Muka Kale, someone who in his very first match away at Lexington, I remember they were down 1-0, Lou City, they brought him on and he did some magic on the edge of the box and scored. And that's what you need, players who can dribble in the box, you know, commit defenders to tackles that might win you a penalty. And I'm assuming if it stays like this, they'll bring Muka Kale on and say to him, go on, have a run at the defense, see what you can do.
Scored 7 minutes after the restart in that match you're alluding to, and that kick-started a comeback in their season opener. We're 1-0 down at halftime in that Bluegrass Derby and came from behind to win 2-1. It was a side that opened this year with 4 consecutive league victories before that Charleston defeat. This is a loose pass from Olivares that is just about cleaned up by Edwards.
Another player on the bench, by the way, Jansen Wilson, 2 goals and 2 assists. He's a fantastic player as well. Quincy Human hasn't quite settled in, but they love his skills. So, yeah, we'll see some changes second half, and certainly if it's 0-0, they'll probably come sooner than later.
Rose may have been offside, and that he was.
Frustration there for Liam Fox. I don't know what the stats say there, but I'm assuming as yet there still isn't a touch in the opposition box by Sporting JAX, is there?
There is not one of note, at least.
Yeah.
They have 1 shot, and it was not on target.
As mentioned, 0 shots on target against Detroit, just the 1 against Tampa Bay at home. Those stats, you know, as well as they've defended, there's the other half of the game, which is attacking, and that's where they're struggling.
There's Evan Davila, who's been the breakout star of this first half for Lou City. Duncan. Mogel. Perez. Looking to dance past Rose, who recovers well to his credit. Just a corner.
Now it's having a look now at touches in the opposition box. 19 for Lou City, 2 for Sporting JAX. And neither of those led to anything. So That's a big difference. And most coaches, they don't read too much into some of these stats, but they do recognize that if you're not getting in the box, the chances are you're not scoring.
It's another Wi-Fi corner kick. What is interesting, though, is Sporting JAX has 28 final third entries, so not turning that into actual box touches.
Yes, that's exactly the issue.
It's taken short. Now Davila pings it into the area. There's just no way out for Sporting JAX. Final minute of the initial 45. Mogel. Clipped at the heels.
I think I could hear the one bench saying it's not a foul. Probably the other bench is saying it's another foul. It's either it's not a foul or it's another foul. So both benches trying to get the referee to to view things from their perspective. But there's a lot of fouls backing up here from Sporting JAX, and just the one yellow card, but they've got to be careful the referee doesn't give it for continued infringement.
It's a free kick brought to you by Fifth Third Bank as Taylor Davila sprays it into the mixer. Shawunmi racing after it and instead lets it go out. Well, that begs the question, which party you're vouching for in that regard?
I think from a referee's point of view, there's been a lot of tackles by Sporting JAX, and it does start to add up. And second half, as I say, you can give yellow cards just for continued infringement, even if each one is a small infringement. And that's what they have to be careful with. Any defensive side does. Whenever you're defending and you're making these tackles and stopping the opposition, you run the risk of cards impacting your game.
Well, fans, stoppage time is presented by the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. It's just 1 minute, and that minute is almost up. So Sporting JAX, despite a frustrating half, may be in line for an even scoreline at intermission. Duncan, is there time for one final foray forward of this first half? Days. And there is not. Halftime whistle sounds, and nothing to separate the top of the East and the bottom of the East. 0-0 between Lou City and their opposite numbers in Sporting JAX. Gary, your thoughts on those opening 45?
Taylor Davila there in picture, frustrated, and I think that's pretty much how Lou City feel going into the locker room for Sporting JAX. Well done, they've defended well. That man there in particular, Olivares, once again making a string of important saves as he has in the last few matches. But there's a second half to come where things could all change, and can't wait to see whether Lou City can get past that man there, Christian Olivares.
Well, at halftime, no score between Lou City and Sporting JAX in the first ever meeting between these two clubs. Work to do for Lou City if they hope to reclaim the top spot in the Eastern Conference come evening's end. Stick with us when we return. A look around USL Championship. We'll be back in a matter of moments.
Commonwealth Credit Union is proud to be the exclusive volunteer partner for the 2026 ISCO Championship, but we need your help. If you have a passion for golf and want an up-close experience on the PGA Tour, register to become a volunteer today. Volunteers will receive tournament merch, complimentary food and non-alcoholic beverages while you're working, and full access to the tournament even when you're not. To register for the 2026 ISCO Championship volunteer program, visit our website for more information. Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
Join me for WDRB night at Lynn Family Stadium to watch Louisville City FC take the field April 25th. Bring your friends and family to the pregame meet and greet. Say hi to Snow Fox and the WDRB team. Plus, we're giving you a chance to win family tickets to the game. Just scan the code to enter. Hope to see you there.
Staying on top of the big stories is a really important part of my job, and the WDRB News app makes that really easy to do no matter where I am. I can be at the grocery store, the doctor's office, or anywhere out and about. I can watch live and stay on top of the day's news. It's like taking WDRB with me everywhere I go.
Hello, I'm here to remind you to tune into WDRB Mornings, Monday till 10. For your out-the-door local news, weather, and traffic.
America America drives Toyota.
The #1 selling retail brand for the past 14 years.
Leading the way, Toyota Camry, America's best-selling car.
Now it's 100% hybrid with more standard power, better handling, and available all-wheel drive.
This Camry XSE gets 47 mpg, and it comes with a 12.3-inch touchscreen.
And Camry's built right here in the USA.
Get a new 26 Camry with 4.99 APR financing, or lease this Camry for $289 a month.
Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back from Louisville, where at halftime, no score between Lou City and Sporting JAX in the first ever clash between these two clubs in USL Championship play. Sam Goldfarb alongside the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. This halftime gives us a chance to look at our upcoming schedules, starting with Lou City, and it is a loaded slate that features that Open Cup round of 16 clash with Houston next week.
Oh, what a massive match that will be. Can you imagine if they can go there and get a result? But Fort Wayne is coming up before that in the Prince Tires Cup. Pittsburgh Riverhounds, that's also a tough match. So, yeah, but for Lou City, they know that, you know, it's a tough season and they've got the players to rotate.
This is a very, very heavy match with standout fixtures. They're opposite numbers in Sporting JAX. We mentioned the difficult slate to open the season. They do have a slight respite against Miami FC in the Prince Cup, but then they have to travel to Charleston a week after that.
Wow, at Charleston, at Indy 11, not easy. Even at Sarasota Paradise, it's a new League One club. That's not going to be a straightforward match, but maybe those sort of matches, Naples, Sarasota, where they're playing, down a league, that's what could build some confidence and get them to be more attack-minded.
Keep in mind, Sporting JAX not in the U.S. Open Cup, so this is their first chance to play lower league sides. But here at halftime, no score. Just wanted to let you know that if you can't watch the match, you can turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights.
This week on USL All Access, more interviews, less of us. The Detroit midfielder Maxi Rodriguez.
Looking for that back post again, Rodriguez scores! That's the way to start it for Detroit City at home!
The El Paso manager, Junior Gonzalez, and plenty of talk about the Open Cup and those unbeaten and those recently beaten in the league. You'll see it Sirius XM FC or the USL YouTube page every Tuesday night.
This one slipped through nicely for Williams! Shining once again for Hartford. Quizera settles. Dodea Quizera!
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Prince Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines. From early mornings to late nights. From fun with friends to winner takes all. From the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prince Tires will be there for the long haul.
Toyota Tacoma has been the #1 selling truck in its class for the past 21 years. You want to know how they stay #1?
You give Tacoma a more advanced powertrain. This hybrid iForce Max delivers 326 horsepower.
Tacoma's off-road capabilities are better than ever. And you've got an available 14-inch touchscreen.
And Tacoma has the best resale in its class.
Get 4.99 APR financing on a 26 Tacoma or a $299 a month lease.
America drives Toyota.
Let's go places.
We welcome you back to Lynn Family Stadium, where at halftime, nothing to separate Lou City and Sporting JAX in this early season USL Championship clash. Speaking of the league, how about we get a look at our scores from around USL Championship at the moment. Obviously, no score in this one. Around the horn earlier today, a draw between Charleston and Tampa. At halftime, no score between the Switchbacks and Monterey Bay.
Well, Tampa Bay Rowdies, they were 100% going into that match, I think, and still a good result for them. Some big matches coming. Miami FC have been a surprise team this year. They got a chance to keep going up the table in the East when they face Phoenix Rising. And Hartford did so well last year, just maybe haven't quite got into full stride just yet. They have a good chance against Loudoun United at home.
It is a side grappling with some turnover. We'll see if they can turn it around here tonight. Later on tonight as well, how about that Western Conference clash between Orange County and Lexington at 10, and then tomorrow on ESPN Plus, Birmingham Legion hosting Indy 11.
And El Paso as well. Orange County doing great, but El Paso have been flying in the league. Let's see what they can do against a tough San Antonio side.
It is a loaded slate tonight. Make sure you keep your dials on USL Championship for the remainder of the weekend. Well, it now gives us a chance to check in with Dan Lucas, who has our halftime update.
It is halftime at the USL Championship. Time for headlines around the league. We hope you're enjoying your match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio. Great job this week by Louisville City and Colorado Springs Switchbacks with cup sets in the third round of the U.S. Open Cup. Louisville knocked off Austin FC 2-1, while Colorado Springs dominated Sporting Kansas City 3-0. El Paso Locomotive is literally beginning to motor its way through the championship. After their 4-0 win at Hartford Athletic, El Paso moved into second place in the Western Conference. El Paso is tied with Louisville City for most goals scored heading into Week 7 with 14. USL's young players continue to shine in the spotlight, and this week we feature Brandon Days of Louisville City. The U.S. Youth International scored his first professional goal last weekend. Some of his measurables include 21 clearances already, and he has won close to 60% of individual duels during matches played. The USL Championship has a pair of upcoming national broadcasts. Next Saturday is El Clamico in the Prinks Tires USL Cup. Then on Saturday, May 2nd, Detroit City hosts Louisville City. Both matches are on CBS Sports Network. Those are your championship headlines. We're getting closer to the second half. Let's get you back out to your match.
Relax and let Kroger Pickup handle your grocery shopping this week. We start with only the freshest items, then choose your favorites, carefully pack everything up, and load it right into your trunk, so you can feel confident it's what you ordered. Fresh groceries your way with Kroger Pickup and Delivery. Get free delivery during online deal days, plus $30 off your first online order. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
This new Tundra is amazing. It's rugged and capable.
Designed, engineered, and built right here in the USA.
And Tundra is more powerful and more fuel efficient.
The iForce Max hybrid powertrain delivers 437 horsepower.
And with the multi-terrain select, it automatically adjusts the engine throttle and traction.
Now get $3,000 customer cash on a new Tundra, 2.99 financing plus $1,000 APR cash, or this $439 a month lease.
America drives Toyota. Let's go places.
Relax and let Kroger Pickup handle your grocery shopping this week. We start with only the freshest items, then choose your favorites, carefully pack everything up, and load it right into your trunk, so you can feel confident it's what you ordered. Fresh groceries your way with Kroger Pickup and Delivery. Get free delivery during online deal days, plus $30 off your first online order. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's time to plan a family get-together between your family and the Corolla family. Toyota Corolla has set the standard for dependability and value for generations. That's why it's often passed down between generations. In fact, it's the most dependable in its class, built right here in the USA. And so is the versatile new Corolla Cross with plenty of cargo space. Now get 4.99 APR financing on a new Corolla, or a $209 a month lease, or lease this Corolla Cross for $259 a month. America drives Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome back to Lynn Family Stadium, where at halftime, still nothing to separate Lou City and Sporting JAX through 45 minutes of action. Gives us a chance to take a look at our first half highlights. Louisville dominant, but no breakthrough.
They tried. They certainly had opportunities, and early on, Evan Davila had a great strike as we see the two captains coming together here with the refereeing group. Now down the left-hand side here, Ray Serrano gets this opportunity, pulls it back. Evan Davila gets a very, very good shot here. First time shot blocked, and then the next one forces a really good save from, so far, the man of the match, which is Christian Olivares.
He's been tremendous, has denied a number of Louisville players from distance on 22 minutes. This a strike that definitely tested him as well.
Tolo Shawamna's got a lot of space here, so he can control the ball, pick his spot. He thinks it's going in. He can't believe the keeper's got across once again and made another save. Probably too much space for Sporting JAX liking, but the goalkeeper gets him out of trouble again.
Olivares 4 saves in that first half, and here's another chance for Louisville. That's the story of the first half. One-way traffic for large spells. Davila forcing it.
Taylor Davila with a shot, Evan Davila with the assist, and once again, as you say, Olivares with a very good save. Strikes out beautifully, Taylor Davila. Keeper gets across really well.
Just a lot of chances for Louisville, and you see that on the stat sheet. Louisville dominant in virtually every category, and again, another half without a shot on target for Sporting JAX.
Yeah, it's not going well for them in attack, but look at that, 13 shots to 2. It just shows you it's all one-way traffic, but the bottom line is as long as it sits at 0-0, Sporting JAX will feel that maybe last 5-10 minutes they can take a risk or two and go for the win. So, as you mentioned, there's been a number of heartbreaking moments here at Lynn Family Stadium from teams that have defended deeply against Lou City, and once again, they're struggling to break down that low block.
Well, the fans urgently hope that their side can pull themselves in front and get back to winning ways. Back-to-back victories, back-to-back league matches, without a victory. And they enter tonight hoping to avoid making it 3 for the first time in quite some time. But these fans seem like they're still enjoying all of the action. Just waiting our referee signal to get everything going. Shawunmi was a star of that first half. We'll see what he can produce in the final third in the second. So Sporting JAX and Lou City, after 45 minutes and then some added on, we will know who leaves Lynn Family Stadium the happier of the two clubs. Do we have a breakthrough in this one is the primary question. Just to wait our referee signal to get everything underway. Mohamed Kalea overseeing everything here. For the moment, kickoff is delayed. And we're welcome back to Lynn Family Stadium, where the second half is just about set to get going here between Lou City and Sporting JAX. No score through a half of play. Sam Goldfarb alongside the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. And we spoke about it in the halftime highlights package. many standout moments for Louisville, but just lacking that final bit of cutting edge to unlock Sporting JAX here.
That's exactly it, and as we mentioned, lots of talent on the Lou City bench, so I would give it sort of 15-20 minutes here, and if they can't get the breakthrough, no doubt Simon Bird will start to make some changes. But you mentioned 2 league matches without a win. The last time they went through without a win was back in 2023, so it just shows you how good Lou City have been and how rare it is for them to go through even the smallest of non-winning patches.
Since that, back-to-back Player Shield winners, triumphing as the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference back-to-back years before falling in the playoffs. It just speaks to how dominant they truly have been. This is Serrano, a big part of those last 3 years. Ball just evades Evan Davila, who was probably the brightest attacking performer for Lou City in the first half. Morris, another high-arcing cross right to Olivares, who has had to make many saves tougher than that today.
Yeah, he's been the star of the first half for Sporting JAX. Everything's been Lou City on the attack, XG of 0.85. But for Sporting JAX, their XG 0.06. 1 shot that wasn't on target. 2 touches in the opposition box compared to 20 for Lou City. And the point that you picked up, and it's a very good point, final third entries, 38 Lou City, 28 Sporting JAX. So from 38 final third entries, Lou City get 20 touches in the opposition box. That's really good. Those are good stats. For Sporting JAX, 28 touches final third, 2 touches opposition box. Therein lies their big problem. They're just not effective and incisive when they get near the opposition box.
It is definitely quite the disparity between how much Lou City is converting those final third entries into box touches. And well, Liam Fox has plenty to evaluate over the course of these next 45 minutes as he hopes his side can show a little more teeth in possession, or what little they've had of it. You've already mentioned it. If this drags on, frustration sets in, they may expose themselves on the counter as Zach Duncan is prone on the pitch again here.
Let's have a look and see how that all came about. It's a little trip. Hopefully he's not hurt. I think he's more likely having a bit of a rest there, because he's had enough injury problems. So the last player you want to see stay down. There you go. Good to see him back on his feet.
He's been an impactful player throughout this one as well. And it sets up another free kick, which will be brought to you by Fifth Third Bank.
Yeah, it seems like he fell on his arm. It didn't seem to be much leg contact, which is why I was surprised, but he's holding that right arm. Probably fell awkwardly and just jolted it. So it was just lying there, just waiting to make sure that it was all fine before getting up.
There's another chance for Lou City to ask questions. This Sporting JAX back line, Taylor Davila has been a busy man on set pieces so far. Perez gets it back now, in some space. It's a clip cross towards Shawunmi, and he overhit it.
I thought Manny Perez would actually have a better cross in there. Shawunmi had found a bit of space, but the cross in was way over his head. Lacking a little bit of quality in that final third at the moment still, the boys in purple.
This is important to note. It is still just a month into the season, so everyone's still trying to gel, despite the fact Lou City does return a solid complement of last year's team. Davila wins it back here, picks out his brother Evan. Early cross is cut out at the source. Fans, this portion of today's match is presented by Toyota and the Kentuckiana Toyota dealers. Mogel surveying for options here. He does go to Evan Davila, although that time it was scouted perfectly.
Again, we mentioned the bench of Lou City, but the quality to bring on of Chris Donovan, Muka Kale, I think it could be very useful. Jansen Wilson, what a quality player. Here's Babacar Niang. The problem for Sporting JAX is when some of those players do come on, and you do expect them to come on at some stage, the extra energy, the extra skill, I don't think Sporting JAX have quite the same quality on the bench for them to bring on to impact the game. They do have 1 or 2 key players. Kieran Sadlier, the top goal scorers on the bench, maybe having a little bit of a rest. Jacob Evans, I thought, was really sharp when his come on. Those are the two you're most likely to see. But again, there's such a big club, Lou City, that the quality they can bring off the bench will probably all be starters at virtually any other club.
You mentioned Evans and Sadler. Those two are the standouts.
Evan Davila, once again, just causing problems for the opposition.
It's quite a difficult player to corral, seemingly. The way he occupies space, just intelligently picks out those soft spots in the defense. Their potential breakout star for Simon Bird. And another free kick brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. Taylor Davila once again into the mixer. Falls for Dita Armstrong of Sporting JAX. Was muscled off it confidently by Evan Davila. Mogel. Low cross in and out for another corner.
You can see there for Sporting JAX, they just can't get out of their own half. Dita Armstrong gets the ball, he gets pounced on straight away. Turnover ball, down they come. Lou City, they get themselves a corner. It's just incessant pressure from the home side.
Another corner kick, which is brought to you by Wi-Fi. At a certain point, you just wonder how long the Sporting JAX resistance can persist. Evan Davila this time is over it. In-swinger toward the heart of the area this time. Doesn't quite fall for Manny Perez, who was lingering. All the way back to Hugo Ferrou, who's got his first touch of it in quite some time.
He's feeling bored. You're going to find him on the halfway line most of the second half just to try and get a touch.
Evan Davila squaring up with his defender Retail. It's an appetizing ball in. Headed back across the face. Perez towards Shawunmi, who chips the goalkeeper and cleared off the line by Harvey Neville.
Oh, that was close. He can't believe it. Well done, Harvey Neville. I mean, that ball is certain to cross the line, and Shawunmi must have thought at last he had got the breakthrough. Fighting there, Manny Perez does really well. Shawunmi gets goal side there of Ryan Edwards, and that's just great covering there from Harvey Neville.
Well, another corner kick presented by Wi-Fi. That a golden moment that you might have to put a pin in if Sporting JAX can salvage, or I guess the better term is maintain a result in this fixture. In-swinging corner again. That is a rather underwhelming delivery that is tracked down well by Serrano. It's far from his finest ball. Keep in mind, it is starting to get slick on the pitch. Rain's been falling for the majority of the time since the midway point of the first half.
With Josh Jones end of last year with his long throws. That's somebody they've missed, Lou City. Josh Jones, a big centre back. He could hurl that ball right into the center of the box, and it got a number of goals in different matches from that particular skill of his, and could have come in useful in some of these games.
Especially where conditions are a little slick. Perez is cleared away. Throw obviously on the rise in the professional game. We've seen it gradually over the course of the last 2-3 seasons, especially the last year in particular, and it's making its way to the USL, although tonight, to your point, lacking maybe the primary architect of those makeshift set pieces. Days. Shawunmi looking for Ray Serrano. Had his chances in the first half. Not quite on the same wavelength as Manny Perez. Well, Fan Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Early stages of the second half, and still nothing between Lou City and Sporting JAX. One-way traffic, but Sporting JAX remaining in this one as they try to slip Tola Shawunmi in behind. He does get there. High cross towards Serrano, who heads it goalward, but right at Olivares.
He was going back, Serrano. Very difficult to generate power when you're going backwards. You almost want it the other way. You want Serrano to Shawamni. In this case here, it's on target, but of course, not much of a stress for Olivares in goals. Could he have knocked it back maybe for somebody else? But when you're that close to goal, you almost instinctively have to go for target.
I was going to say, it looked like a difficult header to redirect, at least outside the reach of the goalkeeper. I think the good sign, though, for Lou City is these chances are a lot more eyebrow-raising than they were around this point of the first half. Starting to really cut through this Sporting JAX defense.
And again, you wonder if Simon Bird is looking at that clock thinking, oh, I'm going to bring on some subs soon. Because you've got to be thinking maybe just someone who comes in for something different. Again, I keep mentioning Mukakali because he was brought in specifically to break down low blocks. That's what they said at the time. They felt he had that ability to get in the box and take players on, as he did against Lexington in that first match and got the goal. So you just fancy him or Chris Donovan's ability in the box just to come on and try something different. And it's hard as a defender when you've got used to one striker and then somebody comes on with a different set of skills. There's a 5-10 minute period where you're not sure how to mark them. And in that period, that's when you can get the breakthrough if you're Lou City.
You do wonder, though, with the way Shawunmi's been a chance magnet throughout this match, does taking him off inhibit things to a degree? Here's Shawunmi again, who tries from outside the box. It's run down by Perez, who is offside.
Yeah, it's possible they keep Shawunmi on. I think Ray Serrano might be one of those who could be pulled off because he is a wide player. Mukakali is a wide player that's sort of like for like.
It does appear your question will be answered momentarily because we're hearing word Louisville City is running a triple change.
You do not want to be losing Olivares, Sporting JAX. He's their star player. Let's hope it's just a little bit of treatment he needs, nothing more.
Well, he's made a number of standout saves tonight. Let's take a look at the standout moments.
There has been a number of them. Shawunmi on target, tips it around the post. Doesn't even drop it into a danger area. Gets it out for a corner, which is all possible.
Five saves on the day for Christian Olivares, including the most recent you saw moments ago on Ray Serrano. Still being tended to by the physios. It is not the deepest of benches for the visitors as well. Juan Casas, who has not made a professional appearance, is his understudy, 23-year-old Colombian. For the moment, it seems he'll try to soldier through. We are hearing word the change will be a triple change on the front line.
Wow. Well, fair enough. Simon Burr's decided exactly what we were saying, that can't get the breakthrough. Normally you bring one or two on. Three is sending a message saying, good luck defense. We're going to have 3 new skill sets coming on the pitch. See if you can keep an eye on these guys for 10 minutes from when they come on.
And fresh legs as well.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, we felt looking at the front line that maybe it signified a slight degree of rotation because Jansen Wilson and Akale are two players who have played big minutes, although Akale more of a super sub. Chris Donovan, of course, opened the season as a regular starter before Shawunmi hit this ridiculously red-hot vein of form. We have now hit the hour mark. It's Lou City as the protagonists. It is Sporting JAX continuing to frustrate their goals. And maybe a chance to break forward, although it's read perfectly by Morris. Given away instantly. Here's the center back, Edwards. A rare sojourn forward from him. Armstrong. One of the many players on the Sporting Jax roster who was a member of the St. Louis City organization to some degree the last couple of years. Made a name for himself in Next Pro before making the move this winter as the first signing in club history, or one of the first two. Evan Davila on the turn. Perez streaking in behind, cuts it across to Tula Shawunmi, whose effort took a deflection, and another chance goes begging.
By the way, Harvey Neville gets back and makes that save. I'm thinking this is all over. Tolo Shawunmi touch in the back of the net. He doesn't keep it away. His left foot stop puts it right in the path of Harvey Neville. He probably doesn't even know he's coming, but if he'd have just kept it away, he might have had the shot. Harvey Neville. That's the second time in the last 10 minutes that he's pulled Sporting Jax out of a difficult problem.
Had the clearance off the goal line about 6-7 minutes ago, and then that goal-saving tackle moments ago. Big part of the reason, outside of Olivares, why Sporting Jax remains on terms.
By the way, we were chatting about it. He's one of 3 players who have extremely famous fathers. Harvey Neville's, of course, is Phil Neville, ex-Manchester United. Emil Jaskalainen, his father Jussi played 50 caps for Finland. And then Dieter Armstrong as well.
Yeah, his father, Desmond Armstrong, was one of the first black players to play for the U.S. men's national team in a World Cup in 1990. Now a triple change being readied by Lou City, and as we mentioned, it comes on the front line. It is Akale, Donovan, and Wilson all in. It is Serrano, Shawunmi, and Davila, Evan Davila, all out. Those substitutions presented by the Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education, Kentucky Lottery.
Wow, if you're Sporting Jax, you just had Harvey Neville pull you out of danger twice, and now these 3 come on. Jansen Wilson, just a fantastic player. 2 goals, 2 assists, as it says. Muka Kale, who's so tricky around the box, which is something they need at the moment. And then Chris Donovan, top-class player coming from Philadelphia Union, where he's had plenty of starts, just 20 alone last season, 77 in total. So the Sporting Jax felt it was tough up until now. It's just been ratcheted up another level.
We'll see how they cope with that. Back on the point of Armstrong, his father actually as well, a 2012 U.S. Soccer Hall of Fame inductee. So soccer royalty in the blood of many Sporting Jax players. Here's Taylor Davila. And now we can just say Davila because there's only one of them on the pitch.
Yeah, I thought Evan Davila did very well first half. Didn't seem to impact too much second half, which is same with him and Ray Serrano. They seem to run out of energy and ideas, but first half, Evan Davila, top class.
Akale. Jansen Wilson curling it goalward, and he did not miss that by much.
He did not. That is such a good move. But see how quick he is to release the shot. A couple of times Tolo Shawunmi got caught on the ball, but already Muka Kale running at defenses. Jansen Wilson. Wow, there's a little bit more bend on that, and that would have tucked in the corner. 3 top-class players coming on. Again, the strength and depth that Lou City have is brilliant.
Well, fans, soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. I'll tell you what, Gary, there might not be a bad seat in the house here. 15,000-seat venue at Lynn Family Stadium, one of the premier venues in all of USL football. Days looking long for Perez. It was spilled briefly by Olivares, but the whistle sounded.
Yeah, he seemed to have it in his hands, then got hit, hence the free kick.
Well, fans, the 2026 USL Championship season is underway. Be sure to head to Lynn Family Stadium to watch the most storied club in league history take the pitch by purchasing tickets. Tickets are available at loucity.com/tickets. Liam Fox has seen the changes and he raises Louisville, a change of their own. Wahab Akwe is into the action in place of Edgardo Rito. That seems to be a more defensive-minded swap, maybe potentially going into a 5 now?
Yeah, it certainly does seem that way. Disappointed with Edgardo Rito because a couple of seasons ago I thought he was a fabulous player with brilliant energy to get up and down the line. Haven't seen it here today, but you're right, Akwe much more defensive-minded, and I think having seen those 3 players come on, Akale, Donovan and Wilson, I think quite rightly Liam Fox has looked at it and thought, we've got our hands full here. The boys at the back need help.
Akwe making just his 2nd appearance since joining Sporting JAX. As Dita Armstrong dispossesses Adams here, and he does win a throw. Potential for a long throw here, Gary.
If he can reach from there, it'd be a good throw.
It is Antonio Gomez. Lofts it in, and he can't reach from there. Akwe's first touch. Donovan looking to get involved. And the last touch came off Lou City there. A rare corner for Sporting JAX.
There's an opportunity, and you've just brought the likes of Akwe on, who's big and strong. You've got a couple of big boys at the back in Ryan Edwards, Antonio Gomez. Maybe this is that one chance they're going to get.
If you're Hugo Faru and you wanted action, ask and you shall receive. Keep in mind, Lou City's had some issues defending set pieces. They conceded off a corner at Loudoun last Friday night, and Simon Bird mentioned to us that defending set pieces has been a point of focus the last month or so. This is coming in with in-swing. Now back into the mixer. Rossiter heads along, Adams away, and finally the whistle sounds, and it is against Sporting JAX.
That was dealt with by Lou City, winning aerial balls. Also against Austin FC, they conceded. The only goal they did concede was a free kick knocked into the box header there. So yes, it has been an issue. They've been very good scoring them, but they've allowed a couple too many on the other end.
Simon Bird mentioned that after the Loudoun result, there was a pretty open conversation about needing to raise the standards just generally, because obviously this is a club that is consistent. You mentioned has not failed to win a match in a 3-game span since 2023. So there was an open dialogue about reestablishing themselves and reasserting themselves. Felt in the Austin match they did that. We are hearing word that Sadlier is getting set to enter for Jacksonville, so whatever concept or idea of arrest Liam Fox might have conjured, that has come to a close as Akale draws the yellow card on his opposition here. It appears Gomez is in the book.
Such a tricky player, Akale. Just gets, there's a late foot out. I think the referee's given it not because it's nasty. It's more like stopping and attacking. A promising attack is more the reason for Gomez getting the yellow.
That yellow card was presented by Alpha Energy Solutions, and now both of the starting center backs on yellows for the remainder of the contest, as Kieran Sadlier will replace Thomas Roberts, a like-for-like change in the number 10 position.
Didn't hear much about Thomas Roberts. I've seen him in other games be a lot sharper, a lot more involved. You barely mentioned his name throughout the first half, but you know, that can happen to any player. This man, though, top goal scorer, as it says, 2 goals this season. They've got to defend really well now for 20 minutes and then rely on the likes of a Sadlier to try and grab something at the other end.
Best known for his many years in EFL League One in English football. Most recently featured for Wycombe Wanderers.
He's also an Ireland U19 international, 6 appearances for Ireland with 1 goal. So definitely got a very, very good youth credibility.
Has played throughout the British Isles, throughout the bulk of his now 13-season professional career. This is his first season in the USL. Carler Davila looks to send in Akale. who launched a biting tackle, and it's one that was overzealous. Well, fans, soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of Lou City. Get all of your Lou City tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Final 20 minutes here, Gary, and we're still telling the same story.
Oliveira not in a rush to take that free kick. The fans, though, still bouncing up and down at Lynn Family Stadium. Well done to them. Maybe it's to keep warm as well. It doesn't look too pleasant, the weather that everyone are wrapped up, but the pressure keeps coming, although is this a rare chance?
Adams is intent on ensuring that's not the case. It's 52 degrees. The rain is starting to subside to a degree. But yeah, for Louisville around this time, not necessarily warm by any means. Neville has made 2 match-changing plays defensively. Armstrong, a low cross in. Heavy challenge from Jaskalainen. The referee waves away any penalty shouts, and here's Jansen Wilson. Donovan picks out Wilson again, who's one of the top creative playmakers with a pair of goals and assists on the young season. Duncan sprang it wide. Davila. Feels like this is a moment where maybe he needs to put his stamp on it.
Yeah, he's one of the quality players who can break down the opposition. I'd say all the players, but certainly the front 3 now. Mukakale, if he can just get the ball, and Jansen Wilson, all that talent, they just need to get the ball on the edge of the box.
Armstrong. Pass was deflected by his own teammate. Davila. And now Adams joining the attack. Akale turns past 2. Akale just left it dangling.
That's what he brings to the party. It didn't work that time, but he's direct. He gets in that box and he runs at you. You've got to be so careful as a defender not to trip him, because it's then a penalty. Look at this touch there, that little knock into space. Good covering to clear, but that's the threat you get from Mukakale.
One goal in league play, a pair of goals in all comps for Akale. Olivares will gratefully vacuum that in. Gives us a chance to tell you that eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. I don't think too many eFootball simulations would have had it at 0-0 on 75 minutes.
No, it is a surprise. They've defended really well, Sporting JAX. They've still got a long way to go, though. After all this hard work, you don't want to let it slip. Think back to Tampa Bay Rowdies at home. 95th minute of 95 minutes. And a cross came in, header, and that was it, 1-0 victory. So they've got to keep fighting right to the end, to Sporting JAX.
Louisville readying one further change. Sam Gleedle is warming up as we speak. Perez will be the player who is set to exit, although that change has not taken place just yet. Here's Mukakale, who's been the center of everything since stepping onto the pitch. Davila. Morris. And the offside flag raised against Jansen Wilson. Now the change takes place. It is like for like at wing back. Perez off, Gleedle on. The Englishman replacing him.
He's played in that wing back position a few times, Sam Gleedle. Normally expect to see him as an attacker, but they've used him in various positions, and he has the energy, he has the attacking ability that you want from a wing back, and he gets back and does defensive duties as well. So let's see whether he can crack the stubborn Sporting JAX defense.
That substitution is brought to you by the Kentucky Lottery. Fueling imagination, fueling education. Kentucky Lottery. Perez had his moments, but nothing decisive in the final third, and he is the latest attack-minded presence to make way. Sam Gleedle, someone who's a talented presence in his own right, joining from Monterey Bay, has spent the near entirety of his 9 seasons in the USL ranks. Akale stepping onto this, just behind Zach Duncan. It's that sense of frustration that just has permeated throughout the side. Fans, it's time to vote for tonight's Lynn Family Vision Man of the Match. Poll will be open for the next 10 minutes. Vote now on the Lou City app. Gary, who are you voting for?
It has to be a Lou City player?
I believe it does.
I was going to say, otherwise it's got to be Olivares for stopping Lou City, but if you want a Lou City player, I don't know if there's anyone. I would have gone for Evan Davila because of a very good first half. But maybe someone's going to pop up here. One thing you never do is write off Lou City, so somebody could still be a hero.
Farouk collects that, and some extracurriculars from Emil Jaskalainen.
Yeah.
And they continue.
He unnecessarily held Hugo Farouk, who then threw a bit of an arm back, so one player irritating another.
Deflected cross, Akale overran it. Donovan can't hit it cleanly. It's those moments, those half chances or full chances, so to speak, that have just gone begging with regularity for Lou City tonight.
Yeah, that was a good defensive block as Chris Donovan came to hit that one. The one in the first half, Ray Serrano whiffed on a really good chance.
Neville, he's made 2 match-changing plays defensively in this half alone. Here is the substitute Gleedle, 30-year-old out of England. Announced himself in 2022 with 8 goals in Monterey Bay's inaugural season. Now with Lou City. You look over the top here, and it is a few footsteps ahead of Donovan.
Well, they're working the clock down, Sporting JAX. And as I say, I'm sure that Tampa Bay game is in the back of their mind that they can't relax until the final whistle. So they've still got lots of work to do, but they're getting closer and closer to what would be a very impressive draw. And we did ask the question at the start of the game. This is a good test for Liam Fox and his squad because the potential for a hammering is there. It is for almost every team that goes to Lynn Family Stadium. If you come away with a draw, and they drew away at Rhode Island, it's the only point they've got, but that's another very good draw. If you can do that, then as a coach, I think you can say to players, we have defensively what we need to do well. Now we've just got to work more on those attacking moments, but you've got something worthwhile in your squad, and a draw here would certainly prove that point.
Olivares slipped there, and it nearly came off, fortunately, for Sadlier. This is a Lou City side that has been dominant at home. You mentioned the 26-match unbeaten run in the regular season that dated back to June of 2024. Finally snapped by Charleston a few weeks back, but this year at home, a pair of wins. They slide it through to Jansen Wilson, who's clipped at the legs by Akwe, just outside the area. And a yellow card shown as well. And on a different day, maybe the nature of the foul and the card color is different.
He was through. I just don't know if he was the last man there. It's not a dog-so denial of a goal-scoring opportunity if there's players covering, which I think there was. But that's Jansen Wilson. He's such a good player. And they haven't managed to get behind the defense of Sporting JAX that often, but that time they did, and it forced Akwe to pick up that yellow card.
That yellow card was presented by Alpha Energy Solutions. In addition, it's a free kick brought to you by Fifth Third Bank.
Paolo De Piccolo there having a little bit of a discussion with the assistant ref, and he only retired at the end of last season. What a top-class player he was for the club. And there's interim coach Simon Bird also having a bit of a discussion with his coaching staff as to what to do. But I think he's done all you can do. He's made the subs. He's made 4 of them. He's brought on all the players who you think can break down Sporting JAX. So it's just very much up to the soccer gods what happens from here.
Mukakale and Jansen Wilson are standing over this free kick, and probably fancy both to test Olivares from this range. What can they conjure here inside the final 10? Akale right into the wall. Falls for Wilson, who also has a crack, and just deflects out for a throw.
Well done, the Sporting Jacks wall. That's 2 good blocks. That's what the wall is there to do.
Davila. Wilson. Duncan looking back for Jansen Wilson. It's a heavy touch. Akale racing after it. Morris venturing toward the byline. Cross stabbed away. And Adams recycles. Unyielding pressure from Lou City. Gleedle. Duncan. Looking back for Gleedle. And they usher it out of play, Sporting Jags. Fans, the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Some matches coming up on the Golazo Network. Later tonight, some League One action on Golazo Network. Athletic Club Boise and Westchester Soccer Club for those who want to continue getting their USL fix.
I'm just wondering if it is a draw here. It's having seen Tampa Bay draw at Charleston. It's an opportunity for Lou City to have gone above them, having played the extra game, but still be above them. This again, another 2 points dropped, and if that is the case, first time, as we were saying, since 2023, they haven't had a win in 3 games. Again, not that it's time for a crisis or anything. I mean, they beat Austin, so that's a great result.
Here's a flick on header. Still time for Lou City to snatch all 3 points. It would be the first time in 3 league matches.
Yes, 3 league matches.
Obviously, Tuesday was a proud night for the club, and chance to continue that in the round of 16 of the Open Cup about a week and a half from now against Houston Dynamo. Adams. Wilson coming deeper to claim, and that's a loose pass from him. Jaskalainen. Perhaps a chance to break now for Sporting Jags. Numbers in the area. It's a low cross in, and it required a last-ditch intervention from the Lou City back line. And now the whistle sounds for the collision on Hugo Farou.
Yeah, he slid in there to try and get on the end of the ball, and he's caught Hugo Farou, and this could be a bad one because look at the leg was out there of Dieter Armstrong, and he doesn't get it there. Wow. I really hope Hugo Farou's okay, because that was right across the knee, and that potentially could be a bad injury. I mean, he didn't mean to, of course, Dieter Armstrong. There's nothing suggesting that that was a nasty moment. He was just committed to winning the ball, but he's caught the goalkeeper in a very dangerous manner.
He's shown a yellow card. And that yellow card was presented by Alpha Energy Solutions, and now there's real concern for Lou City's go-to #1 option between the sticks, Hugo Farou, who's been one of the best goalkeepers in the league over the last 3-4 years.
It's borderline red card, because when you don't get the ball and you take out a player with that sort of tackle, that's red card territory. So Dieter Armstrong, lucky to get away with a yellow. There was no intention, so maybe that's why the referee didn't give it. But sometimes referees are not as much concerned with the intention. It's more about, did you endanger the safety of the opposition? And the answer there is not at all.
It is important to note there is no VAR in USL Championship. So as a result, they can't look back at that and upgrade it. So the decision on the field from our lead official in Mohamed Kalea stands. Well, this is a moment that could certainly haunt Lou City supporters for quite some time, because Hugo Farou is a top-class goalkeeper.
We get a chance to see it again. Look at that lunge in from Dieter Armstrong. He thought the ball might come, so his eyes are on the ball. Again, he didn't mean to do it. There's no suggestion whatsoever it was nasty, but he's taken out both those legs with his two, and the potential to for knee damage and all sort, broken legs, all sorts came into play there. Hence the fact that I say it's red card territory. But it looks like Hugo Farou is going to be okay, and certainly fingers crossed that he can get up and continue.
Someone who's recorded more stops than any USL Championship goalkeeper since 2022. And he's gingerly back on his feet now.
I just wonder as a keeper whether you stay. I mean, it's only 5 minutes. Come off rather, because you don't know the extent of the damage. You don't want to rush for a ball and then your leg suddenly buckles and they score. But he's decided to stay on.
Have to admire the guts of Hugo Farou in this context. Danny Fondez is warming up as we speak. The long-term reserve understudy for Lou City. 33 years of age, who has spent 7 seasons, including this one in USL Championship. But Hugo Farou, for now, will look to soldier through it.
See, I think any other position you can take that risk of just running it off. But as a goalkeeper, if there's damage done that, you know, and often you don't feel the damage while you're warm, you got to move and your leg buckles. That, as a goalkeeper, that could be a crucial moment in the match.
Well, he nearly was forced into action there, and
he seems okay. His legs are moving nicely, so relief for everybody that Hugo Farou's okay.
Native of Cannes in France, who spent time in the Monaco Academy during the early stages of his youth career.
Not a bad academy. Some great players have worked their way through.
I believe Kylian Mbappe is one of those.
Yes, you're quite right. Well done. He is. Went from Monaco to PSG.
Here's a quick touch from Jensen Wilson, who's into the area. Cross cleared away by Akwe. Can you believe it's been a decade since Kylian Mbappe stormed onto the scene of the Champions League?
What a player. And the French league just continues to produce the most amazing talent. I think it's many people's favorites for the World Cup still, France.
They would be mine. I think they're the deepest squad. As there's a whistle there. Keep in mind, the USL continues to go on through the World Cup. So for fans who maybe don't want to make the journey to a World Cup venue, you've got action right in front of you in your local area. Morris is offside.
Jake Morris, you've got to look down the line. Yes, he's frustrated with himself. You're looking down the line. You've got to make sure you stay on the side the whole time.
Louisville readying one further change. It will be the end of the road for Zach Duncan, and Babacar Niang replaces him. That relatively like for like, the player on loan from Minnesota United. And that substitution is presented by the Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education. Kentucky Lottery. Final minute of the initial 90, and still no score between Lou City and Sporting JAX. Sam Goldfarb, the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey, is alongside me, and Lou City's been on the front foot, but they have yet to unlock this stubborn back line of Sporting JAX, which prior to today had conceded the most goals in the league. Sadly, the question now beckons, can Sporting JAX steal all of it away from home? That would be the ultimate smash and grab, given how this has unfolded.
I mean, it really has been a good defensive effort by Sporting JAX. I mean, they only lost 1-0 at Detroit City. They lost 1-0 at home to Tampa Bay Rowdies in the last kick of the match. So certainly this match and the last two, they have been so much better organized in terms of their defensive duties from the front all the way to the back. It's not just the defense, the midfield, even the strikers have been putting on a really, really good defensive performance.
Well, 7 minutes of stoppage time, which is presented by the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. So that is renewed hope. And you saw a moment ago, there may be a change for Sporting JAX now. Ahmad Al-Kak, is getting set to enter. So it is Al-Kak for Dita Armstrong. That also is pretty straightforward change on the flanks. And as we've already mentioned, that substitution is brought to you by the Kentucky Lottery. So Al Cook, native of Greensboro, who played at North Carolina FC a year ago. Played 5 seasons of college soccer at the University of North Carolina and was a strong feature, and now a member of the Palestinian national team. 5 caps to his name there at the senior level. Here's Morris's cross. Cleared away.
There was some argument on the touchline there with Liam Fox and the 4th official about the substitution, and still hasn't happened. And there was lots of words being said and gestures from both sets of coaching staff, so I'm not quite sure what went down.
Cross in, took a touch off of the onrushing Morris. Already about 2 minutes through the added 7. Louisville must continue to press the issue. Morris cuts inside, goes for goal, but never put it on frame.
Yeah, that's not his best foot. He wanted to get that on his left foot, and then he can really hammer it on the right foot. Unfortunately, just pulled that shot.
Well, the change has finally taken place now. So it is Al Cook who has replaced Dita Armstrong. If this holds, it would be a banner result for Sporting JAX. Keep in mind, entering the day, had only managed 1 point through their opening 6 matches. Still would have to wait for that first win, assuming they cannot find a winner here. But it would be a hard-fought result in a venue where so many teams have gone and been defeated resoundingly. I think for Lou City it might be frustration, though.
Yeah, in their last 5 matches, they've lost 3 of them only by 1 goal. And they've had, if this is a draw, and it's still a big if, along with Rhode Island, 2 draws thrown in. It's if you just ignore maybe 2 matches where they've conceded a few goals, they've actually been very, very well organized and very decent defensively. No question about that. I just obviously asked the question, what are they doing in attack? Because they still haven't really tested Hugo Faru at all.
With the exception of the 1 corner, which Louisville coped with rather well, they've been pretty sound at the back, and they've limited the chances. I think he might be a star of the match for Sporting JAX, Harvey Neville. The clearance off the line.
Yeah, 2 great involvements defensively from Harvey Neville.
Three minutes remain of the added 7. Louisville's mad dash to produce a winner continues.
Just to give you some stats for Sporting JAX in attack, and again, credit to them in defense, no doubt about that, but expected goal 0.14, very low. Shots on target 0. It was 0 against Detroit. It was 1 against Tampa Bay, so really not much there. And only 5 touches in the opposition box.
Well, fans, tonight's Lynn Family Vision man of the match is Evan Davila. You mentioned his very strong first half, and he receives the plaudits as a result.
Well done, Evan Davila. Delighted to see him make such an impact. Such a surprise player.
This is given away to Jaskalainen, and maybe something on now for Sporting JAX. Rose dispossessed immediately, though. Gleedle doing his defensive duties. Now Rose crosses it in, headed away. And they handle that situation relatively well. Akale. Davila. Akale again. And here is Niang, one of the substitutes for Lou City tonight. Plays it forward, and there are numbers for Lou City here. Davila underhits it for Jansen Wilson, though.
Akwe just stuck out her foot. Otherwise, that was a through ball. It's been so close for Lou City, but just at every point, including Harvey Neville twice, they've just stopped Lou City from scoring that crucial goal. Now, this was the minute that Tampa Bay got their winner.
Niang hoping for deja vu. Wilson cuts inside, and he has produced the winner. Jansen Wilson off the bench and onto the score sheet, and it may just very well be 3 points for Louisville.
You can see Olivares saying, what can I do? Nothing the goalkeeper could do. That was just the brilliance they've been looking for, that one moment. Jansen Wilson, what a player. When he came on, we said 2 goals, 2 assists. If anyone can break the deadlock, this guy can. But how well did he finish this? Niang threads the ball through. He's sort of creating from midfield, looking for options. Chips this one in. Jake Morris, just first time knocks it back. But look at that. He brings that ball across his body and doesn't take too long to hit it. Ball comes in from Jake Morris. Goes one way, goes the other, bang. Pulls the trigger, and look where he sticks it on such a short pullback. He sticks it right towards that top corner. Quality there from Jansen Wilson.
It is an upper echelon finish by an upper echelon player. It is Louisville City 1, Sporting JAX 0, and on 90+6, Jansen Wilson has finally provided the breakthrough. This Louisville City FC goal is presented by Fireball, and it comes at the perfect moment.
Well, perfect moment for Lou City, for Sporting JAX. We were just saying Tampa Bay, 95th minute. Now it's happened in the 96th. It's got to be a heartbreak for them because they have defended like superstars here today. You can't defend that. And the problem is, against good teams like Lou City, and you can chuck in who you want, Rhode Island, Charleston Battery, look into the West for teams that are doing well, Orange County, San Antonio, they will score. You can't stop teams from scoring, so you have to be scoring at the other end. And that's where they just haven't been able to put up any numbers or any real attempts to bother that man in picture, Hugo Faru. So to Sporting JAX, to Liam Fox, brilliant defensively, what character, but tough result, and didn't create enough offensively.
The full-time whistle sounds. Jansen Wilson, the hero and the difference maker that powers Louisville City back into the win column. 3 hard-fought points and a deserved 3 points.
Deserved 3 points because they had all the opportunities. Basically, every highlight we have is Lou City on the attack, and just a quality finish, as you say. Just Jake Morris as well. It's a first-time ball back to Jansen Wilson that gives him that little opening, but wow, heartbreak for Sporting JAX. I mean, taking the Tampa Bay result as well, to be hit in the last seconds of actual time, that's going to knock the stuffing out of Liam Fox and his Sporting JAX players. But credit to them for some great defensive work.
Well, on top of that, tonight's game resulted in a Kroger clean sheet. 0 goals, 0 hunger, 0 waste. Another clean sheet for Hugo Faru, and another 3 points for Louisville City.
And more importantly than any of that as well, and that is important, of course, well done on the clean sheet, is he survived that horrendous tackle, which looked for a moment like it could have damaged him. So all in all, happy days for the clean sheet. Thanks to the sponsors for looking after Hugo Faru, and delighted that he's all in one piece.
That is where things reach the conclusion. We will take a quick breather here from Lynn Family Stadium, and when we return, we look back at that thrilling conclusion. Louisville City, 1-0 victors. Stick with us.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you, satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
America drives Toyota.
The #1 selling retail brand for the past 14 years.
Leading the way, Toyota Camry, America's best-selling car.
Now it's 100% hybrid with more standard power, better handling, and available all-wheel drive.
This Camry XSE gets 47 mpg, and it comes with a 12.3-inch touchscreen.
And Camry's built right here in the USA.
Get a new 26 Camry with 4.99 APR financing, or lease this Camry for $289 a month.
Toyota, let's go places.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you, satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
We welcome you back to Louisville, where it finishes 1-0 to Lou City in thrilling fashion. Jansen Wilson on 90+6 minutes, providing the magical moment of difference to power Louisville City atop the Eastern Conference. And it gives us a chance to take a look at our full-time highlights. And Gary, it felt like for large spells, it would be a tale of frustration for Lou City, but they finally break through at the death.
Bends it right in that top corner. Keeper has no chance.
It is a spectacular finish and no chance for Olivares, who even on his best day is not stopping that. Our full-time stats, and they show full-scale domination from Louisville. 7 shots on goal, and again, another 90 minutes where, unfortunately for Sporting JAX, they just can't test their opposite number between the sticks.
Yep. Attacking-wise, it's a big problem for them, but give them credit defensively from top to bottom, including their goalkeeper. Just absolutely marvelous. They still only have that 1 point. It's a tough start to the season for them, but they don't have to improve defensively. That they've got down. They just have to find ways to get their attack going. But for Lou City, back they go to the top of the table after Tampa Bay drew earlier this season.
They are 2 points clear atop the Eastern Conference after this 1-0 victory. They stave off a very tough challenge from Sporting JAX and get the job done on 90 plus 6 minutes. For our terrific crew and my broadcast partner, Gary Bailey, I'm Sam Goldfarb saying so long. Lou City, 1-0 victors at home. Jansen Wilson, the difference maker, with his 3rd goal of the season at the death. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. From Louisville, signing off.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.